Hello there. I was doing this talk, I was 5 minutes through and then I got interrupted, a phone call. If the phone goes again, I'm just going to give it a miss because this is more important. But anyway, here we go again. And today's talk, today's meditation is called The Dark Night of the Soul. And what I was just saying, I was just talking about timelines, and and essentially when I chose to answer the phone, that was me choosing a different timeline, and I was explaining in that other timeline about how the timelines are always happening and they're infinite. In every moment there's an option you can choose, and you're creating it ultimately. And timelines is connected to what I'm talking about, because like I say, you choose to be chosen, and the chosen ones are those that choose to be chosen. It's those that choose to spiritually awaken. My spiritual awakening was unexpected, and ultimately the chosen ones are those that have had the unexpected spiritual awakenings. But those people chose to go within themselves. So you choose to be chosen. It's not that some external judgmental God is coming down and doing anything to you. What's happened is you're deciding yourself. That's who the chosen ones are. Like I say, it's those people that have had these unexpected spiritual awakenings. And in that, what's happening is you go through the dark night of the soul. And the dark night of the soul, as I've said before, I believe what it is. I don't believe it's just you healing from your experience. I believe that you're healing the collective consciousness within yourself. Right? Because we are one collective consciousness, on a planet. Just take a planet, for example. That's what we are, the animals, the different energies, it's all one collective consciousness. And when you are spiritually awakening, you're essentially healing that within yourself. And that's ultimately what the dark night of the soul is. Because telepathically, we pick up the world's pain. We pick up the world's emotions. We pick up the earth and the emotion. I have no doubt in my mind that the earth's emotions and our emotions interact with each other. And so the dark night of the soul is when you are healing that within yourself. And that's why the chosen ones, those that have had the unexpected spiritual awakening, which are the chosen ones, that's why the chosen ones are the most potent healers. Because they've faced the collective consciousness's trauma and the collective consciousness's issues. And yeah, a lot of people call themselves chosen now. It's a big thing now, I'm chosen one, I'm chosen one. And I'll say that the chosen ones are those that choose to be chosen. It's those that have, the chosen ones, 144,000, is those that have had the unexpected spiritual awakenings. And what happened was, consciously or unconsciously, you just had enough. That's what happened to me at the age of 24. 10 years ago, I had enough. And I decided. And then it ignited the spiritual awakening. And then I started going through an inner healing pathway. In that journey, a lot of issues, coming out, being brought up. It's like emotional sickness. All the emotional sickness within the collective consciousness. You're being empathic with the emotions of the collective consciousness. And that's what you're doing, and that's why people that have these unexpected or even if you're trying to get one, once you're going through that spiritual awakening process, you become such a potent healer because of the fact you've healed the collective consciousness's pain. So you have an understanding. You know, you can't understand something unless you've experienced it. You see? You have to experience it to understand it. And ultimately that is what the dark night of the soul is. You're healing the collective shadow. Right? That's what you're doing. And I believe that's what depression is. I think that we're all telepathic, but not knowing that we're that, and that we're tapping into other energies and people and stuff all the time. Once I started to go through the spiritual awakening, I started to become more aware of that. That's what's going on. You know, and I talk about twin flames, and that's coming to my awareness right now. You know, it's connected. You know, twin flames, you know, is part of the journey, because ultimately once you heal all this unconsciousness, you're basically ascending towards the light of consciousness, you know, infinite love, tantric awareness. You know, the source of the core essence of what we are is absolute bliss, euphoria, orgasmicness. There's even pictures on the internet you can get with actual pictures of this. So it's not stuff that I'm making up. And that's why you get some people, there's videos you can get of people having energy orgasms. It's a manifestation of the core essence of what we are. And this inner healing has to happen as we're on the, you know, because all the dirt, all the sickness has to be brought up in order to get to the core essence. This is ultimately what's happened on the planet. And like I say, the people that have had these unexpected spiritual awakenings, those that have done the inner work, that's the chosen ones. And their job is to, they are the rulers and the leaders of the new earth. Jesus Christ, I'm not religious, but apparently he said that the chosen ones, 144,000, would rule the kingdom of heaven with him. So that came into my mind, so I just put it out there. So, you know, if you know, maybe whoever's listening to this, listen to this, is going through the dark night of the soul themselves. You know, you might be going through isolation, a lot of inner healing. You don't, you know, you're not near anyone. Jim Carrey, a few years ago, he said that the isolated family member is the one who is truly awake. And if that's you, then, you know, but again, like I was saying earlier, you know, a person chooses to be chosen. It's you that ultimately decides what happens next. Right? That's the way it is. You decide what happens. Have you got the guts? You know, people say we're all the same, but it's not true. You know, if you watch sport, you know, it's plain to see that we're not all the same. Same with this spiritual awakening path. It's almost like a sport in a way. The way there's different levels to it. You know, and the ones that are the furthest, those are those that have had these unexpected spiritual awakenings, and they are the true spiritual teachers. They've done the inner work. They know what it takes to face the unconscious trauma of the collective consciousness, of the collective shadow. And like I say this a lot. I've mentioned twin flames earlier. You know, romance and love, it's all connected. Doesn't mean you have to be with someone. Because someone having an energy orgasm, that's a self-experience. You don't have to have someone else for that. But my point is that love, romance is part of the ascension journey. So as you're doing this inner healing, what's happening is all the muck is being brought up, and at the core of that is the light of consciousness, is God. And that is connected to twin flames, kundalini, tantric energies, you know. So it's about removing all the rubbish, and then you've got God's gold, which is within you. You see? So that's ultimately what's going on the planet. The energy changed in 2012. That's when the energy changed. That's when I started my unexpected spiritual awakening. And one day I just sat down, had enough of everything. And I decided in that moment that everything was going to change, and then it just changed like magic. And then I started going through this inner healing pathway. I was being led. I went through a rebirth. A lot of people say rebirth, but this was literally a rebirth, where I was getting downloads. I was getting told that I was being reborn again. And basically that lasted for 2 weeks. And then I started to went through this kundalini awakening at first. And then I went through an inner healing path for 10 years now. So on this path, there is a lot of liars as well. There's a lot of people that, they're just not real. You know, because the spiritual community now, with this mass awakening that's happening, it attracts attention seekers. You know, and don't even listen to me, because I could be one of them. I say that the only teacher that you need is the one within you. And that's the one you've got to listen to, your heart chakra. You know, let that lead the way. Tune into that. That's connected to the higher self. The heart is the way. Don't listen to me if I say something that's insightful. But ultimately, it's the power within you that you must access. And my job, if I am a genuine prophet or chosen one, my job is to get you to tune into your inner spiritual powers, into your own inner Christ within you. And ultimately for you to go because ultimately it's about getting the planet on the same level. That's what this awakening's about, right? So it's a gradual process. So it's not going to happen overnight. You see? Will everybody get there? At this moment, no. It's a choice. It's a like I say, it's a collective consciousness. But what you can do and I can do is be the example of what to be. And you do that by going within. And that's your message. Not I'm going to heal you, I'm the Messiah. No, it's about me getting you to go within you, and then you being that example, and that's how we ascend the planet as one. As, like I've been saying, one collective consciousness. And because the awakening, mass awakening started in 2012, we're going through a mass dark night of the soul. All the happenings that are happening come because of the collective shadow. You see, so that's what happens. So that's why once sickness has been brought up, you know, stuff manifests. Before, you have to have the bad before you can enter into the good. You have to learn from the bad, you see. There's a point to it being there. So it leads you to that, and ultimately ascension in the end. But I'm just going to leave it there. For latest updates, talks, news, research and songs and much more, please do visit my website at www.lovelightfamily.com. Thank you.